I'm gonna break down, react, and review RENEE GOLDSBERRY singing Satisfied from Hamilton. Let's sing something. La la la! If you are new to my channel, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that little bell icon. My channel teaches you how to sing. Yay! If you're like, wait, I don't really care how to sing, I just want to know how my favorite singer does what they do, that's okay. You're in the right place too. Today I'm going to break down the vocals of RENEE GOLDSBERRY. So, I had done vocal breakdowns of the Hamilton cast singing Helpless, and there was Phillippa Sue in it. I hope I'm saying all their names right, you guys. And I saw RENEE and was like, I know her. Where do I know her? What is she from? And I found out, yes, it's from Rent from back in the day, but also from that awesome TV show called Altered Carbon. I really liked that TV show as well. And I just remembered her having such a big, bold, open type of Broadway musical sound. And that's something that I really, really like. I'm like a huge Linda Eder fan from back in the day, you know? So today we're gonna break down RENEE's vocals and how she does what she does singing Satisfied. So let's get started.
All right.
I know this is a lyric video, but it does give a really good representation of the vocals.
For the Maid of Honor,
I've not heard this before.
Skyler!
A toast to the groom,
To the groom, to the groom, to the groom,
to the bride,
bride.
from your sister, who's always by your side.
So, like, yes, it is true. I am slightly biased. I really like the big open space who's always by your side. I really like that big open space that she has. It's just natural. It just pops open, and there it is.
To your union,
To the revolution.
and the hope that you provide.
And so right there, may you, she's making sure that she's lifting up the sound before she goes into always. She's not doing may you oh and pulling up that weight. She's may you always, may you always. So she's got that lift before she goes into that big open space.
Satisfied.
I have not heard this song. So I wasn't expecting this that's going on. This is also a reaction, so I am reacting. I have not heard this song before. I've actually never even seen the whole musical. You guys probably hate me on that. And I was going to watch it after the last video, but then I was like, but if I watch it, then I can't truly react to it, right? So once I've reviewed all the songs that want reviewing, then I'll watch it. But then you get to see my true reaction as I'm seeing this for the first time.
I remember that night, I just might regret that night for the rest of my days. I remember those soldier boys tripping over themselves to win our praise. I remember that dream like candlelight, like a dream that you can't quite place. But Alexander, I'll never forget the first time I saw your face.
Okay, so this is a great comparison because the last video that I did, which was, what was it? It was Helpless. The last time I did Helpless, the video, it was done by Phillippa Sue. And I said that I felt like everything was a little bit nasal, and I wanted her to really open up that space more, because I am pretty biased to wanting to open up that space. I will admit it, I am. And a lot of you commented and said it was needed because of that song, and it had such a quick pace to the words. This song has a quick pace to the words, yet she's still adding a little more open space within that tone. And it's not, I remember those nights, it's not as pingy and thin as Phillippa Sue did in the Helpless song. This is, I remember those nights, it's a little bit more in a speaking tone, which is a little bit more in the body, rather than it being very thin and small, which can be a character choice as well. I mean, it sounds like a totally different character depending on your placement. She's definitely placing it more within the speaking ranges. It's set about here and not set so much up in the front as was in Helpless.
I have never been the same. Intelligent eyes in a hunger pang frame. And when you said hi, I forgot my dang name. Set my heart aflame, every part aflame. This is not a game.
Strike me.
So, and when you said hi, it's got a little bit of tension behind that. And I would normally say that that isn't good and that I don't want her to do that. However, I think she's doing it on purpose. I think that's part of the character within this dynamic, is to give it a little bit more of that grit within that space, because previous to this, right in this intro of this, she was hitting way higher notes, no problem, easily. So it tells me that she knows she can do it. She's choosing character-wise to give it a little more grit, a little more tight within the stomach, and a little more tension and push for her to create a little bit of that more intense kind of sound to those high notes.
As a woman who has never been satisfied,
I'm sure I don't know what you mean. You forget yourself.
you're like me. I'm never satisfied.
Is that right?
I've never been satisfied.
My name is Angelica Skyler.
Alexander Hamilton.
Where's your family from?
Oh, that was beautiful. Where's your family from? It was just so perfectly placed. That's decently high in the range, and she just thinned it out when before she's been opening up so much, so she just really like, let me just ping that in there.
Things I haven't done for just you. Just
Oh, I love how music is.
So this is what it feels like to match wits with someone at your level. What the hell is the catch? It's the feeling of freedom of seeing the light. It's Ben Franklin with the key and a kite. You see it right. The conversation lasted 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. Everything we said in total agreement. It's agreement. It's a bit of a dance, a bit of a posture. It's a bit of a stance. He's a bit of a flirt, but I'ma give it a chance. I asked about his family. Did you see his answer? His hands sort of fidgeting. He looked askance. He's penniless. He's flying by the seat of his pants.
Even though she's rapping within this, he's flying by the seat of his pants. If you noticed, her mouth still popped open on those bigger spaces. Really awesome. Also, I like to point out, within my channel, there's a lot of pop songs that we do, and this is music theater. Music theater is so different when it comes to breath support. So a lot of my teaching has to do with opening up the space but not taking in too much breath, because in pop songs you're only singing for like a sentence, maybe two, not very long at all before you can take another breath, so you don't want to bottle up a lot of extra air. However, when it comes to musicals, especially when you're doing like this crazy long rap thing, you do need more air because it's actually used. And I think it's one of the rare times, or rare styles, I guess you could say, genres, there we go, rare genres within the, 2020, within this, oh my goodness, I'm running out of words, within this generation, there we go, generation of music. I really think that only music theater truly needs that big air, because it's one of the few styles of music that you hear out there that's in style. Yes, there's opera, but opera's not in style. That's actually in style and needs that air. And she's doing a brilliant job at just real quickly opening up that space, filling up her lungs, filling up them all the way to the back. And then every single word is just right here, yet she pops open on those big spaces that she can.
Some boy, does he know it? Peach fuzz, and he can't even grow it. We want to take him far away from this place. place. Then I turn and see my sister's face, and she is helpless. And I know she is helpless. And her eyes.
So that's Phillippa Sue. That's so interesting because that's such a different tone than what she was doing with the other Helpless song that I heard, which definitely more pinged to the front. And she's doing a little bit of a push and pull. Helpless, less, instead of helpless. It's not coming all the way out. She's hitting and then leading from there, which is really nice to give that momentum within what they're doing and also feel a little bit more.
I realize three fundamental truths at the exact same time.
Where are you taking me?
I'm about to change your life.
Then by all means, lead the way.
I'm a girl in a world in which my only job is to marry rich. My father has no son, so I'm the one who has to social glide for one. Cause I'm the oldest and the wittiest and the gossip in New York City is, and city is, and Alexander is penniless. That doesn't mean I want him any less. Elizabeth
Again, she's placing it a little bit deeper in a tone than Phillippa Sue did. She's also penniless, making sure that when she can, she's opening up that space. Now, one way that you can do this is starting to, first of all, you got to learn the words. And then you can start hitting it with one tone. One tone. Don't hit all the notes that they're doing. Just hit it with one tone to get used to that placement right up in here. Then you can open and develop it and add in all those other notes for those of you that want to learn how to do this kind of style.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Skyler.
My sister. He's after me because I'm a Skyler sister that elevates to satisfied. Have to be naive to set that aside. Maybe that is why I introduced him to Eliza. Now that's his bride. Nice going Angelica, he was right. He will never be satisfied. Thank you for all your service.
So that was also interesting. At the end of her tone there was a little bit of vibrato that came out, and I thought it was nice softening to it. Before this, she's been hitting a lot of them with straight tones. Satisfied. That's the straight tone. She hit it. Satisfied. There was a little bit of vibrato that came off the end, and I thought it was a nice compliment to round that off.
In a war for us to meet, it will have been worth it.
I'll leave you to it.
Number 3.
I know my sister like I know my own mind. You will never find anyone as trusting or as kind. If I tell her that I love him, she'd decidedly resigned. He'd be mine. She would say I'm fine. She'd be lying.
Yeah, again, there's that little bit of tension. She'd be lying, instead of she'd be lying. There's it might not come through on my little microphone, but she's adding a little bit of that guttural push behind it to give that attitude that we didn't hear her do earlier on. And I think that's really nice to give that characterization within it. It does slightly struggle those high notes. They were like right before this. If you move it back just a hit, actually let's move it back a little bit. It's right when she ended that last phrase. You could almost hear it. Could have been off, might be just a tiny bit, but you got to listen in a lot because there's also the other singers singing along with her.
Be mine. She would say I'm fine. She'd be lying.
There it is. She'd be lying. There's a little bit off there from that push, but hey, this is music theater. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. We need to feel it with the foundation of support underneath it.
Fantasize at night, it's Alexander's
Beautiful dynamic change.
As I romanticize what might have been if I hadn't sized him up so quickly. At least my dear Eliza's his wife. At least I keep his eyes in my life.
Okay, that is another thing that I miss about music theater. You know what, you guys? I gotta do more videos for that are musicals because there's so many beautiful parts in it that just like pop music just doesn't hit quite the same. Probably totally biased, but whatever. You want my reaction. And one of the things is silence. So they go from this big drama with all these layers, and then she softens her voice, and then there's the parts in between where she's not singing, that it's just, and then she sings, and then there's nothing. And it's giving that moment between the music. The silence is its own music, and I really, really love that this is giving that moment and then resolve. Sister, not sister, sister. She's got a little more sass with it. Now she's going into some of these higher notes in a falsetto just for a half a moment and then going back into that mixed may always, I think may sorry, I only heard it once. May, which is that mixed may always. Then she goes back into that mix again. Instead of staying in the mix, I wonder if she could. May always. Yeah, you could stay within it, but she's not. She's choosing to falsetto up there. May always. Wow, that's hard for me to go from that falsetto back into that mix for some reason. May always. Woo! You guys, I'm gonna have to work on that one. I like it. Challenge me. Challenge me.
She'll be happy as his bride, and I know he will never be satisfied. I will never be satisfied.
Go ahead and click here for my free cheat sheet on how to sing like RENEE GOLDSBERRY. Click here for my other Hamilton and musical reviews. And if you're a singer and you want to do like live warm-ups with me and hang out with fellow singers and learn cool stuff, then come hang out in my Facebook group. The link is down below. And I will see you in the next song.